My name is Mr. Yarsh. I am the Student Assistance Counselor at Central and Brookline Middle School. I have been at Central Middle School for over 20 years, and I have been in the Parsippany School District for 26 years. It's gone very fast. I've enjoyed it very much. Right now we are doing social emotional learning, and we're trying to utilize the time as best we can in the cafeteria, as our students right now are not having in-person lunch. So we want to check in and see how they're doing. Obviously that's very important. Academics is number one, but this is pretty close. This is like 1B. See how their emotions are, check in with them, ask them how they're, maybe encourage them how to manage their emotions better. So these things we'll be doing periodically, social emotional learning. All right, as you know, we're going to try to utilize this time we have in the cafeteria as much as we can, because there's other things going on besides our academics. Obviously academics is number one, but we also want to do a lot with our social emotional learning. Okay, so that's something that we've always believed in here at Central Middle School, but now the state is requiring us to make sure that we spend some time, all right, doing like checkups and seeing how everybody's doing. How is everybody feeling right now? Okay, feeling okay? We can have a lot of emotions, we can have a lot of feelings right now. We can have many feelings. We could be sad, we could be mad, we could be frustrated, we could be ecstatic, we could be lonely, we can be depressed. We can have the whole gamut of feelings and emotions. And that's what part of social emotional learning is, to try to get in touch with our feelings, recognize our feelings, and manage our feelings. Okay, so the video, have you ever heard of TED Talk? You ever heard of TED Talks, okay? They're usually short, they're brief, to the point. We're going to see a TED Talk, but it's a youth TED Talk. Now, some of the things I say, you might go, kind of corny. And we always sometimes, as adults, use these fancy words and make it sound more impressive than it really is. But it's really a very simple concept. This is called the mindset of a champion. Our mindset. There are two with this young man who's in 5th grade going to 6th grade. He displays a lot of courage doing this. This is not something he wants to do. This is something he was always very fearful of. But he mustered up the courage to get in front of hundreds and hundreds of people. Now this thing is worldwide. You look on YouTube, there's a lot of likes on this, there's a lot of hits. So he's overcome a fear. So it's the mindset of a champion. And there's two mindsets that he talks about. He talks about a growth mindset, and he talks about a fixed mindset. What does it mean to grow? Pretty simple, right? What does it mean to grow? You guys can help me out a little bit here. No right, wrong answers. What's it mean to grow? What do you think? Huh? To grow. What does it mean to grow? Do we stay the same? Yes. We change, right? We evolve. Our brains are growing. Actually, our brains grow to about the age of 25. We don't stay the same. Okay? So, growth. Then there's the fixed. Think about it mechanically. What does it mean? When is something fixed? What does it mean to be fixed? Think about a wheel on a car. It's fixed. Is it moving? Is it growing? It's pretty much locked in, right? Think about the wheel is locked and nothing's changing. Okay, so when we watch this youth TED Talk, I want you to think about, what kind of mindset do I have? Do I have a growth mindset, or do I have a fixed mindset? I think we can have both at the same time, actually. There may be certain things where we're really confident, really positive. And there's some things like, oh no. You ever heard of another corny expression? An old one, because I'm old. Glass half full, glass half empty. Have you heard some of your relatives or family members say, you've heard it, maybe you've heard it somewhere. He's a glass half full kind of person. He's a glass empty kind of person. Describe a glass full. What's a glass full person? Huh? How do they look at life? What's their mindset? Are they optimistic, or are they pessimistic? Glass half full. Optimistic. Glass empty. It's gray outside. It's raw. It's rainy. It's cold. This is terrible. So what have we done with this? I mean, I do it myself on occasion. I ruin my day, right? So what do you got to lose trying to be optimistic, positive? We're not changing the weather today. Nobody's got any power. I'm powerless over what's going on out there with that weather. You are. Nobody's got that kind of power, right? There's so many things that we cannot control. Things that we can control is sort of like, how am I going to act today? Am I going to study? Am I not going to study? Am I going to have a positive attitude? Am I have a negative attitude? Abraham Lincoln says, you're as happy as you make your mind up to be. All right, you're as happy as you make your mind up to be. I got a friend who likes to say, have a good day, unless you have other plans. What does that mean? I had to think about that for a while. Have a good day unless you have other plans. Guys, you're not helping me out here. You have a choice in what kind of day you want to have. So have a nice day unless you have other plans. So if your plans are to be miserable today, and life stinks, and I'm in the dumps, and there's grades, and I got to wear these masks, and this and that and the other thing, you'll probably have a bad day. You'll probably have a bad day. Are they supposed to be easy? Are things supposed to come easy? Because if it was easy, everybody'd be doing it. Now, Walt Disney, we all know who Walt Disney is, right? How would you describe Walt Disney? Well, what was Walt Disney's mindset? What's his mindset? What do you think his mindset was? He obviously had a growth mindset, right? He had a lot of, what's up here? He used a lot of his, very good, thank you. He used a lot of his imagination, okay? Did he have a lot of ideas? Did you get one of those? He had a lot of ideas, don't you think? He did a lot of brainstorming, right? He did a lot of brainstorming in class, I would think, right? Ideas. He was an idea guy. So, well, when he was a newspaper editor at one time. He worked in Kansas City, I believe, and he was in the newspaper business. They fired him because they said he had no imagination and he had no ideas. So did Walt Disney just say, you know what, they're right. I got no ideas. I got no imagination. I'm stupid. I'm no good. Thank goodness, right? Some of us are fortunate to be to Walt Disney World. I've been there. Great place, right? He didn't quit. He was able to take, I think, the criticism, and I know some of us don't like to hear criticism, all right? We take it very personally. I think it's how you say it, man. I can take constructive criticism as long as it's how we say things, I believe. But he took criticism. Maybe he said, you know what? Maybe there's some truth to some of the things they're saying. I'm going to get better. I'm going to work harder. Okay? Thomas Edison, what did he do? He invented the light bulb. Did he get it right the first time? Well, I've read that he tried like 10,000 times. Thank goodness he tried a lot, right? I don't know. I guess somebody else might have invented the light bulb, but he did it 10,000 times. And somebody said to him, man, you failed 10,000 times? He goes, that was no failure. It was just 10,000 stages I had to go through. That's the way. It's how we look at it, right? It's our mindset. There's vast amounts of inventions in this country, right? Massive. It's amazing what people do. You don't get it the first time. The only one I know it comes easy to is Mr. Flanagan. You know, some people just have that good luck, you know what I mean? Most of us have to work hard at stuff. Now, I got a lot of these corny things. Like, anybody like Rutgers football? No! All right, so there's a guy here. There's a new coach at Rutgers, right? His name is Greg Schiano. He's back for his second time, so it's 2.0. And he does this. Think about a tree in a forest, and it's wide as heck, right? And you got the axe, right? And you're trying to chop it, right? If you hit it one time, is it going to fall down? No. You got to chop it down a lot, right? So when he does, they always talk about it. They keep chopping, keep chopping. So if I have a bad play, let's say I miss my assignment, and I mess up, I miss a tackle, or sorry if not everybody's a football person here, but he misses a tackle, misses a block. All right, I'm not going to dwell on it, right? I got to think about the next play. Because if I don't think about the next play, I got to mess up the whole game. And they got to take me out because I'm doing a terrible job. So he says, keep chopping. This is what you'll see him on the sideline doing this all the time. Keep chopping. Let's get after it. Right? So, again, what was the three-letter word that he used that I think is really powerful? And it's only 3 letters. Yet. I'm no good at math. Yet. This is I can't figure out this riddle. I can't figure out this problem. Yet. So I think we all can do a better job of that, including me. Looking more at the glass half full attitude. Because I've been around a while, and this glass half empty thing doesn't get us too far. All right, it doesn't get us too far. All right, so we can all have a good day. We can start from now. We can always start our day over. So if you had a bad moment, you got a bad grade, you had a fight with a friend, you argue with your mother, something going on, you can start your day over. Okay? It's really our attitude.
All right, how are we doing, guys? Good? Awesome. I know it's kind of a gross rainy day, so we'll be inside for the whole time. Usually I'll let you all out after about 15 minutes. But today we'll be watching a video. We did the same thing last week with the other cohort, but we'll be watching a video. It's a really short clip. Who likes rap videos or just music videos? Yeah? Awesome. Okay, so it's going to be a short video that's about respect. It's students actually filmed this video. I thought it was pretty cool. Students from a different school, not from Parsippany, filmed it. And then what I'm going to have you all do is I actually want to try, while practicing social distancing, try to work together as you're getting cards. Cards are being passed out, and I'll explain what that activity will be. But I really want to try to work together in the cafeteria so we're not just sitting here and working independently, okay? So first I'm going to play the video, and then I'll explain the activity after. And also, my name, again, is Miss Salkin. I am another counselor here. I work really closely with Mrs. Sutherland in the counseling office. I'm here on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and I'm at Brooklawn Middle School on Mondays and Wednesdays, okay? So I'm just another support here, navigating the times of the crazy world right now, but if you ever need anything, just stop by. Okay, what I want you all to do now, actually before we do the activity, why do you think we talk about respect at school? Why do you think it's important? You know, we go from class to class to class. Why do you think it's important to just talk about this as well? Yeah, go ahead, bud.
You need to be best friends. Use personal space, keep hands to yourself.
So, yes, exactly. So being respectful to others, right? Giving each other personal space. Exactly, respecting boundaries. That's awesome. Why else do you think we talk about this at school? Any other brave volunteers? Yeah, go ahead, sweetie. So people shouldn't be left out, right? It's about respecting other people's differences, including all people. So we're an inclusive environment, right? I love that. Awesome. Anyone else? So what I want you all to write down now on the cards is, what does respect mean to you, and how do you show respect to others, okay? But what I want you all to do is socialize with one another, interact with one another, okay? Practice social distancing, but these cards, well, who saw our bulletin board right outside? Anyone see it yet? Yeah? Awesome. One in the back. Great. So what we're going to do is we're going to add your cohort's cards to the bulletin board, okay? So you can draw pictures, you can do whatever you want, you can put your names on it if you want to, all right? And then afterwards, I'll give you about 5-7 minutes, and then I'm going to ask for volunteers to come up and get on the mic, all right?
To me, respect is a mutual thing. If I respect you, you have to respect me unless you don't deserve my respect.
To me, respect means respecting people's boundaries.
I am here today to talk to you about something I think is pretty important and pretty relevant. So just to kind of get started, can somebody come up here and volunteer to read this quote that I have on this slide? Anybody want to come up and read it, or do you want to hear me read it? Mr. Hart is going to read it in a dramatic tone. Okay, hold on.
Social media gives some people a mouth that they'd never have in real life. Thank you.
Oh my God. I knew it was going to be a dramatic tone. Thank you for the clapping, Mr. Hart. That was nice. So just to kind of like get you guys thinking about this topic, I emailed you a Google form about 15 minutes ago with a couple of questions related to this quote. So if you guys could all take out your Chromebooks and take there's only 3 questions, so 3 to 5 minutes to kind of answer them, and then we'll talk about them. Sometimes having a discussion in a large room like this is really hard when somebody's talking at table 8 and somebody at table 1 can't hear them. It's harder the bigger the group and we're all spread out and things like that. So does anybody want to be brave and come up and talk about the first question? Do you know anyone personally who seems different on social media than they are in person without mentioning names? Why don't you guys just raise your hands if you know anybody personally who's like this? I know I do. Even adults are like this, right? Okay. No names or pointing, right? Social media is a big, big, big part of your life. It's a huge way that we all communicate nowadays. I personally, during the lockdown, when we were kind of in quarantine in March and April and May, I was personally very grateful for social media. And why do you think that was? Does anybody have any idea why I was grateful, even as an adult, Zach?
Because you could talk to people through technology instead of going face to face where it's unsafe.
Yeah, it was unsafe. Thank you, Zach. He said it was unsafe to see people in person, so being able to communicate through social media was how we were able to stay connected. Did anybody agree? Does anybody agree with that? Yeah, you guys were probably using social media to stay in contact with your friends because you weren't allowed to see people in person, am I right? Okay, Justin, you're coming up. Oh, you don't want to say something in the microphone? Are you sure? Okay. Why do you guys think, with all the positives about social media, about staying in touch with people, why do you guys think that some people act differently on social media than they would in real life? Does anybody want to come up and share? Or else you're just going to have to hear my experience with it. I don't want you to only hear my thoughts. I want you to hear what your peers think too. So is anybody brave enough to come up and share, why do you think people act differently on social media, behind their screen, their phone screen, than they do in person? I know it almost sounds like an obvious question, but I want to hear from you what you think.
Maybe they're trying to act cool or impress someone.
Oh. Isabel, did you hear her way in the back? Isabel, thank you. Clap for her, please. She's brave. Isabel said that sometimes people feel like they're trying to be cool or impress somebody. Can you guys agree that you see that sometimes? Okay. Sometimes I see people sharing negative viewpoints on social media, where when I see that person in real life, they're not negative, they're often positive or just kind of regular. So why do you think that people sometimes choose social media to be also negative? Why do you think, or to argue or debate, why do you think people do that? Ariana, come on up.
Well, I think people do it because on social media, you're kind of anonymous. You don't have to, no one has to know your name or your face until you send out a picture or you want to. So people can get away with saying things like that because people don't really know who you are.
Okay. Thank you, Ariana. Clap for her. Thank you. Sometimes you can remain anonymous on social media if you don't want to share your real name. That's what Ariana's saying. And you can just say whatever you want or say whatever you're thinking. Also, I think sometimes people debate or they're negative or things like that on social media because they don't have to hear somebody arguing directly back with them. They could just sort of post something and go on with their lives. If I want to say something negative to somebody's face or argue or disagree, I have to do that in a respectful manner. I have to look into their eyes, and I have to be prepared for whatever it is that they want to say back to me. So having a disagreement in person is a lot more difficult than having a disagreement online. You know, my kids are 8th grade and 9th grade, 2 girls. So they are always communicating through text. You know, they'll get into an argument with a friend and they'll deal with it through text instead of face-to-face or on the phone. And I always tell them it's not a good idea. You should see the person's point of view, see their facial expression. You should be able to communicate with body language and things like that. But kids your age are using phones and social media to communicate more than ever now. So the point of me coming up here to talk to you about this today is to just put out another reminder. You guys have been hearing since kindergarten, 1st grade, to be safe online, be kind online, pause and think before you post, you know? And I know that you don't need to keep hearing this. I know that you know this already. That's why I just wanted to do a 15-minute reminder and just think about how you speak online. A lot of you are communicating with teachers electronically now. Next week during cohort A, when you're home, remember your tone in an email to a teacher, all that sort of thing. Okay? So the last question, I was just kind of curious. I'm asking you, I'm going to guess the order that you guys mostly probably use TikTok more than anything else, or no? No? Snapchat? Okay. That was going to be my second guess. None of you really go on Twitter, right, kids? You do, Justin? What do you follow? Yankees? What? Okay. Oh, got it. Sports? Okay. A lot of adults get their news from Twitter. So you guys communicate through Snapchat. A lot of kids don't even use regular texting anymore. You're communicating through Snapchat, right? You got to be careful because what you put on Snapchat, you think it disappears, but it really doesn't disappear forever. What about TikTok? Is that mostly positive, would you say? No, what do you mean? There's sometimes negative things on there? Justin, you got to come up. I want to hear your voice and your smooth tones in this microphone. Come on. I can't hear you. Woo! I can't hear you over there.
Most people on TikTok don't actually have talent. Yeah.
Wow, Justin, a lot of people are in agreement. Some people have made a career out of TikTok dancing. I think TikTok is fun. I've actually seen some really funny videos, and don't tell me you haven't seen them. Like, you know those POV videos where people are being guidance counselors? You ever see those? So mean. My kids have shown me those, and they're like, is this how you act, Mom? Oh, my God, this guidance counselor is so embarrassing. I'm like, no, I don't act like that. Meanwhile, I probably do. So I think TikTok is actually pretty funny and creative. Again, as long as it's being used for positive, I have seen some negative things on there, too. Because it just seems like every app, eventually, people will jump on there and be sometimes a little bit toxic. So just be careful when you go on social media. Try to surround yourself with good things, okay? Good things, positive things. The last thing I want to say is that in order to communicate with you guys better when you're on your other cohort, we created in guidance an Instagram page. I don't know if you've seen it. So if you haven't, I want you to follow us on Instagram. You can take your phone out now. Most of what we've been posting is like reminders about Week of Respect and some inspirational stuff, reminders about getting your schoolwork done. We're kind of trying to keep it light and quick communication with you guys because I know that kids your age don't love to read long, giant emails. So thank you so much for listening today and participating, guys. Thank you.